Welcome back to Keeps Hot Takes. And on today's show, I have my brother Mikey on the show with me. Mikey, how you doing today, brother?
Doing all right. Just started Will Smith's new book yesterday, so I'm pretty excited to read that. Been chilling other than that. Excited to be here today.
Yes, sir. How's that Will Smith book? I know you were kind of telling me about it last night. It sounds very interesting. Something I may pick up and read.
Yeah, usually when I start a book, I get off, 3, 4 pages at the beginning, and then I really dive into it. I haven't got much into it, but it seems like it'll be pretty interesting.
That's good. I may have to check that out on Amazon or something like that. Um, so before we get
We
into
know you
talking
don't read no book.
I haven't read a book since my first year at Winston State. I had to take English 2. That's the last time I read a book, if I'm being honest. um, but before we get into talking about football today, since Thanksgiving is next week, I thought it'd be kind of cool and fun to talk about Thanksgiving. So, Mike, why don't you tell us what are some of your favorite things to eat during Thanksgiving?
Well, we were just joking around about it before the show about me not eating yams and not being invited to cookouts, stuff like that. We'll leave it at that. I don't think I eat yams. I don't even know that my family prepares. I'm having like little flashbacks to the Thanksgiving table now. I don't remember that being on the tabletop, but we eat things like mashed potatoes, turkey, rolls, green beans. Um, they probably have like corn and maybe some other veggies, but I don't really eat that. I eat like the green beans, and that's about the extent of my health. Just loading up on mashed potatoes, turkey. I like
Oh,
to I like to soak my turkey in a little bit of brown gravy.
okay, that's about the only way I can eat turkey. If I soak it in something.
You don't eat turkey? What do you
No.
eat the ham?
Oh yes, I stopped eating turkey like 5 or 6 years ago. Like my grandma stopped forcing
I
it on
don't
my
know
plate.
why.
My grandma stopped forcing it on my plate. That's why. Because like pre-pandemic, like she would make sure you got everything that she cooked. Well, she didn't make me eat dressing because I would just scoop that in the trash. But besides that, yeah.
I like dressing.
I
I like
uh,
the dressing. We have
mm-mm.
that too.
So what would be your favorites at Thanksgiving? What would you say you gotta have?
So I always got to have my favorite pumpkin pie with some whipped cream on it. I'm not a fan of potato pie, sweet potato pie. I've never understood the mix of potatoes and pie.
Oh,
And I can see your jaw being picked up off the floor as we speak. So I'm
yeah,
guessing you are a fan of sweet potato pie.
yeah, that's one of Grandma's specialties right there. Oh Jesus.
They just don't sound like they go together. Like potatoes and pie.
Oh
That's
my
like
God.
a dinner or lunch type thing. Potatoes and then pie, which is dessert. It's a crime against humanity.
I have to have my ham. I have to have my yam casserole with either marshmallows or the pecans. And gotta have the cinnamon sprinkled on top. And then the staple is the macaroni. My mom usually makes it, and oh my God, it is to die for. I usually come back for seconds. And then when we get to the desserts, I gotta have mom's pound cake, gotta have a slice of that sweet potato pie, and yeah, we just really enjoy Thanksgiving with the family. It's always good times. It's a little different now, because we're in a pandemic. Um, don't get to go to grandma's house, unfortunately,
Mm.
because we're in a pandemic. But mom did a great job last year. I know she's gonna do a good job this year. Oh yeah, and the rolls, you got to have the rolls, the yeast rolls. Those are a staple. So yeah, have any traditions y'all do on Thanksgiving by chance?
Yeah, so it used to be when I lived in Kansas, until I was 18, we would go over to my grandma's house and we'd have like the majority of my family there. Now that we moved, I believe we'll be doing Thanksgiving with my aunt and uncle and then one of my cousins. My grandparents will be in Texas this year with a couple of my uncles, so it'll basically just be us here. A little bit of a smaller gathering, and we don't have a necessarily an official chef since my grandma's not going to be there, but We're all supposed to either whip up or bring a dish of our own. Luckily, I'm working somewhere right now, and I get a little employee discount, so I could just bring some rolls. If I don't know how to cook anything besides boiling water.
I don't either. Yeah, just make sure you bring some yeast rolls, and I think they'll be very happy.
Yeah. What about
uh,
you? Do you help make anything, or is that all your family?
I know I
And
leave
what's
that
your
to
tradition?
my mom and grandma. Normally before the pandemic, we would go to my grandma's house, watch football, and have a big family dinner. But now that we're in the pandemic, my mom does it, and I usually just sit in the living room and watch football till dinner's ready, and then we have a nice family dinner. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
I gotta ask real quick, with you being a Cowboys fan, one, is that your go-to game for the day?
Yeah, because usually the Lions are playing early, so I really don't care for that game. Lately we've been having some good 8:20 games, but yeah, the Cowboy game. I hate that we're always eating at that time because I don't like eating while my Cowboys are playing, but I definitely love watching my Cowboys play every
Mhm.
Thanksgiving. So yeah, that's the go-to game.
And is it hard to stay awake while you're watching them with the belly full of food?
No, because usually I'm well rested the night before, so no.
Sometimes I'm eating that Thanksgiving food and I just don't stop and I just want to pass out right afterwards, sleep for
Yeah,
hours. I
I
think one
don't.
of the last times I slept like 14 hours after I ate.
Jesus, I don't think I've ever slept that much after Thanksgiving. Um, are you a fan of cranberry sauce? Before we,
Uh, I personally don't know that I had it. If I did, I might have thought it was either decent or didn't like it, but I definitely could tell you I did not like it enough to keep eating it.
well, the key is you got to eat it refrigerated because if you try to eat it hot out the can, it's very nasty. I like it very cold. So
Fair
I
enough.
think
Pete's
that's the.
hot tips.
Wow, that was creative. All right, are you ready to talk about some football before I get hungry here before lunchtime?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, the first game is tomorrow night. The New England Patriots are going to Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Falcons.
Mhm.
The Falcons are still licking their wounds after my Dallas Cowboys put it on them, put the shellacking on them. So, how do you
Do
see
you
this
know if
game?
that's the first time the Cowboys or not Cowboys, excuse me, the Patriots are playing the Falcons since the Super Bowl, or have they played them before?
I think they have played them since then. Hold on, that's a good question. We can easily find out. Let's see. I feel like they have. Uh,
Yeah, I definitely think the Patriots have a good chance of winning that by double digits. I don't really see the Falcons having much of a chance with how hot the Patriots are right now. 17.
So yeah, so they played that fall, but they haven't played since then. So
Gotcha.
so yeah, it's been 4 years, and I guess that's why they're playing now. So you got the Patriots winning here just because of how hot they are, and you don't know how the Falcons are going to look from week to week. You know. So
Yeah, I would say the Falcons or the Patriots are probably going to win that by double digits.
yeah, I also took the Patriots just because how hot they are, and I just don't see the Falcons being able to keep up with them, especially since they seem to figure things out. Mac Jones is playing well. Their defense is playing
Mm.
much better. And unfortunately, they beat up on my guy Baker Mayfield last week. They beat him like he stole something. So that was
Unfortunately for you, fortunately for me.
my dog
He got
Baker, man.
exposed for all he is. For all he is, he got exposed.
I wouldn't go that far, but we'll save that for when we talk about Baker later in the show. So yeah, I also have the Patriots winning here big. I may not be looking at this game. I'll probably be looking at first 48. Hopefully it's new tomorrow, so I don't have to sit through this. to our Sunday games, this game should be a little more competitive. The Indianapolis Colts are visiting the Buffalo Bills. I got Buffalo winning here. I think it'll be very close, probably low scoring. Both teams have good defenses, so I just trust Josh Allen more than I do Carson Wentz. And I think the Bills will get
Walk
a
it
big,
to them.
or more like give it to him Wentz. Yeah. But yeah, I just trust the Bills to get a big win at home. And yeah, this is gonna be a really great game. I may be looking at this game. How do you see this game playing out, bro?
Um, I'm gonna pick Buffalo in this game because I think they're more experienced and a more talented roster. But at the same time, it's not like I would go out and bet any money on this game because I think Buffalo has struggled at times when they probably wouldn't necessarily should have struggled. So I could easily see it going the other way too. But more than likely, I believe that the Bills will take the win in this one.
So next we have the Baltimore Ravens visiting the Chicago Bears. I'm still recovering from what happened to the Ravens when they went to Miami and the Dolphins beat them 22-10. I did not see that coming. I don't know if Lamar and them went to the local clubs the night before or what, but they just didn't look right. Miami's a place you can get lost in, and it's dangerous if you go there too early before you have to play because you can get in some trouble. So I fully expect the Ravens to bounce back this week. The Bears' offensive line isn't very good, and I think Justin Fields is going to be running for his life. And I think the Ravens will get a big road win, and they'll bounce back after their puzzling loss to the Dolphins.
Yeah, I see it about going similarly to what you said. Me personally, I really haven't. I don't know if it's because of the offensive line for the Bears, but I really have not been impressed at all by what I've seen from Justin Fields this year. To see him go up against a playoff contender and the Ravens, and I feel like this will be a bounce back game. I could see the Ravens just dominating the time of possession and running it at will against the Bears. So yeah, I think they win that game pretty easily.
Yeah, I think Justin Fields' offensive line is why we haven't seen how great he can be because, I think I said this in our group chat. All three of us could probably get past their offensive line. That's how bad they are. Um, so I think that's something they need to address so Justin Fields can play at least 10 years because at this rate he may not make it 4 or 5 behind that offensive line. So so that's something they probably just need to spend the whole draft on, just getting a quality offensive line for him to play behind. And I think we could see how special he can be because they have the weapons, but if you can't get the ball to him, then it doesn't mean nothing. So that's something they'll need to address. Um, so I feel like you may pick Detroit here, just for your hatred of Baker Mayfield. We're going to see. Uh, we have the Detroit Lions visiting the Cleveland Browns. The Lions, they did everything they could to lose that game last week. It was hard to watch. um, so how do you see the Lions getting their first official win? They have no wins, but they have a tie. So I guess that's half of a win, I guess. So.
No, I would not want to tie in a game, especially if you're winless. That just seems like an extra slap to the face, just saying you really can't get in the column to get a W. I mean, I feel like there's a good chance that it's against Pittsburgh, and I think Pittsburgh's probably a little bit better of a team overall than the Browns are. Could be wrong, but I just feel with the way their defense performs and the fact that they still do have Roethlisberger, I would probably like their odds in a game against the Browns more than the Browns winning that. But at the same time, they're winless, and what happened last week could have been a fluke. And who's to say with a team like that being halfway through the year and the fact that they tied, if that couldn't have been more detrimental to their confidence than building it. So I'll probably just go with the Browns in that one.
Proud of you for picking Baker Mayfield. I didn't think that I would see that day coming.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield over Jared Goff. Wow, what an impressive quarterback.
um, I
He
think
could throw for over like 175.
okay. But I fully expect the Browns to bounce back. I think they're going to try to take their frustration out on the poor Lions, especially after the way they played last week. Uh, they took quite the pounding up
Mhm.
in New England. I don't know if Kareem Hunt's going to play this week. I mean, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. I know Nick Chubb was on the COVID list. So I don't know if he's coming back this week. But I think the Ernest Johnson, I think he'll have a big day running the ball if Nick Chubb can't play. And I think Baker Mayfield will do enough in the passing game. And I think the Browns will get a nice bounce back win at home over the the Detroit Lions. This next one should be pretty easy. The Houston Texans are visiting the Tennessee Titans. The Titans just finished beating 5 straight teams that were in the playoffs last year, and they beat 7 teams that were in the playoffs last year. So they're very impressive. 7 of their 8 wins are against teams that were in the playoffs last year. So I'm taking the Titans here. This probably won't be close. I know Julio went on the IR, but they don't need Julio to beat the Texans. Uh, so I got Tennessee here, but you know we've had all these upsets the last couple weeks, so maybe the Texans will play them close, surprise some people. Who knows? But I'm not taking the Texans. I know that. I got Tennessee here, probably about at least 14.
Yeah. I mean, with it being a rivalry game, I could see it possibly being a little bit closer. But unless Massage Parlor Watson comes back, I don't think that they'll win the game. Have a chance, really.
Uh, I don't know how much better they would be with him because they have so many holes on their team. So I think it'd probably be like last year where he throw all those yards and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
they're just not very good because their defense can't stop a nosebleed. So um, yeah, I don't know how much better they would be. So you got Tennessee winning here too.
Yeah.
So we have the Green Bay Packers visiting the Minnesota Vikings. The Packers are running away with this division. I think they're like 4 games ahead of everybody in their division. That's how bad their division is this year. Uh, so I got Green Bay winning on the road. Uh, their defense is playing really well. They've shut down some really good offenses the last 2 weeks in Kansas City and the Seattle shutting them out at home. That was impressive. So I think their defense is going to lead them this week again, and I think Aaron Rodgers, and the offense will do enough to get the big divisional win on the road.
I'm actually going to go on the other side of things and pick the upset here because it seems like once every year the Vikings somehow find a way to beat the Packers. So
Okay.
I'm going to take that here. And the Packers did not shut down the Chiefs. One, the Chiefs played bad, but two, they played well enough to win that game. So I can't really say that they were shut down when they were shut down themselves. And
I mean,
Aaron Rodgers was not very impressive last week. So I think he's
um,
probably going to continue on that lack of momentum this week. The Vikings are going to pick him off twice and win the game.
well, I mean, holding the Chiefs to 13 points, that's shutting the Chiefs down, bro. Because I don't know many teams that can hold the Chiefs to 13 points. That's just crazy. When that's just crazy. So that's why I say they shut them down. Um, I mean, the Chiefs weren't playing great, but also the Packers defense is really good. So have the Miami Dolphins visiting the New York Jets. The Jets have benched Mike White after he had a good 2-week run. Threw 4 picks last week, and they said you got to sit down now. And now Joe Flacco is starting.
Couldn't be worse than Zach Wilson.
Oh Lord, yeah. Zach Wilson hasn't. Well, he also doesn't have a good offensive line, so it's hard to say how good he is because his offensive line just lets people through, like it's an express line or something.
You know, it's the battle of the what is the battle? Was Zach Wilson number 2 in the draft?
Yes.
So it's the battle of the number 2 picks, basically. Is Tua gonna be in there?
Yeah, I hope so. He looked really good in that
Tua
second half.
wasn't number 2, was he?
No, he was like 5. I
No.
think 5. No, 5 or 6. Nothing 6.
Basically.
Yeah,
So
'cause
basically, that means Zach Wilson's better than Tua.
I wouldn't go that far. I
If
think
he
no,
was
yeah,
drafted before
yeah.
him.
Tua was 5 because the Chargers was 6, and they were like they didn't take Justin Herbert over Tua because Tua hasn't been able to stay healthy. So that's his
Yeah,
biggest
we'll
issue.
we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
I mean, that's the truth. I mean, you
I'm
saw how.
taking I'm taking the Jets on a game-winning field goal to just crush the soul right out of Tua.
Wow, I gotta make sure I write that down. Check mark beside the Jets. Oh my.
And put crush to a soul in
So
parentheses.
you're putting faith in Joe Flacco or what's
Joe
left of?
Flacco.
Yeah, that's who's
What
starting
happened
this
to
week.
Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson has a knee sprain and he's gonna be out a couple weeks.
Well, Joe Flacco over Tua.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
What do you mean ain't no way? He's got a Super Bowl. Tua's never even come close.
Hey, the way his defense played last week, maybe one day Tua can get one because his defense they balled out last week.
I can't pick Baker and Tua both in the same week.
That may be good luck if you do that. But I'm picking the Dolphins. They've won 2 in a row, and I think they're gonna make it 3 in a row. So we have to see who's gonna be right there. Next, we have the New Orleans Saints visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 0-4 at home, and the Saints have lost 2 in a row. So I'm taking the Saints. I just can't see the Saints losing 3 games in a row. The Eagles can't win at home for whatever reason. And yeah, I think the Saints will win a very close, competitive game against the Eagles. So yeah.
I said rumor on the street has it Ben Simmons has been signed by the Eagles as a field goal kicker, but since he's not good with threes, I'm gonna go with the Saints.
Oh my God. I'm praying for Ben Simmons. Hopefully he gets his mentals in order. That's nothing to joke about. So hopefully he
Nah,
gets. Hopefully he, because
that jump shot's a joke though.
yeah, he really can't shoot. So the football team visiting the Carolina Panthers. Uh, we all expect Cam Newton to make his first start for the Panthers in a very long time. I'm so glad they did the right thing and bringing him back. They should have never let him go in the first place, but we won't talk about that today. I'm taking the Panthers just for the simple fact they seem to have a new energy with Cam Newton on the team. He has everybody, flying around, making plays and stuff like that. And it's his first home start. I think the Washington football team, they're going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that Panthers defense, I don't see Washington being able to move the ball on that defense. So I got the Panthers winning here.
I'm gonna go with the Washington football team.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Washington football team. I think that the Panthers were feeling themselves a little bit too much last week. I think they're going to get ahead of themselves. And with the fact that Cam hasn't played, he hasn't started in so long, I don't think that's really going to work out too well for him. We saw him, he did make some crucial plays to help the Panthers win that game last week, but there was like a 10-yard run he had where he was just completely winded afterwards. I don't know how he expects to be leading the team up and down the field if his old behind can't even get 10 yards down the field without going out to the sidelines panting. So I think there's a good chance that the Washington football team will win. Otherwise, I could see the Panthers making a switch back to PJ Walker at halftime.
Wow.
And doing what's right for the team, putting the team in his hands. Because Walker was the unsung hero of last week.
Well, yeah, I think they're just like we've been suffering with Sam Darnold for 9 games, and now we got somebody that can get us the ball. Robbie Anderson, he's been the forgotten child. Sam Darnold, and he was so happy to get the ball last week when Cam threw him the little curl route in the back of the end zone. And then him and Cam been at the press conference together. Did you see what Cam said at the press conference?
No, I didn't.
All right. So here we go. This is beautiful.
In this morning's devotion, I was reading about Moses, and God spoke to Moses in the desert. Where we at? You know what I'm saying? Come on.
So he just said he was reading about Moses, and then he played gospel music.
No, I think somebody put that under. I don't think he had the gospel music playing. I just think somebody put that under.
I'm sorry, but I'm not very inspired by that.
I don't know why. What Cam Newton?
He tells you he read about Moses in a devotional, and that's it. And I'm supposed to be inspired.
Well, I didn't see the whole interview. I need to go back and watch the whole interview. I don't know if their YouTube channels like the Cowboys where they post all the post game interviews, but I hope so. But yeah, what Cam Newton means to us here in North Carolina, he just makes Panther football exciting again. So I can't wait to hopefully they can make a run and get that wild card spot, and we can have some playoff football back here in North Carolina. So we shall see.
Yeah.
A little easier for you. The San Francisco 49ers are visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The 49ers, their front seven is just really nasty. I think they're going to really get after Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't have a good offensive line. And I think Nick Bosa is going to live in that backfield Sunday. And I got the 49ers winning over Jacksonville.
Yeah, another one. I guess I'll extend the duo to a trio of quarterbacks I at least like. And I'll add Trevor Lawrence to that mix. And I'll pick the 49ers. Trevor peaked his freshman year, if we're being honest, at Clemson. And then after that, he started wanting to be a running quarterback. So he's going to have to do a lot of running this week to try to avoid getting sacked. And he's getting the L. He's taking that hot L. Club Shay put some hot L's on the menu. And he's getting served them directly.
I'm afraid to ask why you don't like Trevor Lawrence.
I don't think he's as good as advertised. I feel like he peaked his freshman year and he showed a lot of potential then, but I don't really know that potential ever really became who he was, if that makes any sense. Because it was just like after that, I saw him settling for running the ball instead of throwing it and getting his teammates involved. And I feel like that was kind of detrimental to his development. So I feel like he would be playing better right now if he decided to learn how to throw a little bit more. I'm not saying he can't. I just don't think he's quite as talented of a thrower as what people think.
Well then, so we have the Cincinnati Bengals visiting Las Vegas Raiders next. I'm taking the Bengals here just because I don't know how the Raiders are going to cover Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and all the talented receivers Joe Burrow has to throw to. And we saw last week if they aren't able to get to the quarterback, then their secondary is toast city because they got torched by Patrick Mahomes. So I got the Bengals winning here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this has game of the week potential written on it, but it's going to be a game that nobody really watches. I think it could come down to the wire at the end of it. It probably won't be that exciting. It'll probably be an ugly little slugfest, but I'll go with the Bengals too, just because I trust Joe Burrow to get the Bengals back on track. But I still think that game against the Chiefs, even though it did end up in a blowout, it was a lot closer for a while than people give it credit for. I think putting the pressure on them midway to the third quarter, and then the Chiefs just turned on the Jets and went to town on them. But I just think there was a few little mistakes that if the Raiders wouldn't have made them, the game could have been closer, and they could have had a chance to pull ahead at one point. But I'll go with the Bengals in it. But I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way.
Yeah, I wouldn't either because the Raiders, if they want to stay in contention for the division, they probably can't lose too many more. But I don't see how they can beat the Bengals, especially with how
Yeah,
bad
but it's
their
also not
second.
necessarily within their control.
Yeah, because they have the head-to-head loss to the Chiefs, so that's not good for them.
Yeah.
So we shall see. Next we have the Arizona Cardinals visiting Seattle Seahawks. But yeah, I mean, I was looking online last night before I made my pick, and it doesn't seem likely that he's going to play him or Colt McCoy. And I just don't know how they beat Seattle without either one of them. So, and Seattle, they really need a win. So, I got Seattle winning here. I probably regret picking Seattle, but I got Seattle here.
I'll go with the Sea Guacamoles. I'll go with the Seahawks, I guess.
Oh,
The Sea Guacamoles.
okay. You scared me for a
I
second.
don't like the Seahawks at all. But I guess I'll go with them just because Kyler's not playing.
Well, right now it doesn't seem like he's going to play, but in the last hour.
Okay, well if he plays, I'm going with the Cardinals because Kyler is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times better than Russell Wilson.
Oh my God! Did you just say that on live TV?
We're not on TV, we're on YouTube, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, YouTube TV.
Kyler is basically if Russell Wilson could actually run.
Well, he's not nobody's Kyler Murray fast, but I mean Russell does a great job escaping.
Russell does a good job of running around in the backfield. He doesn't really get any yardage out of it.
He's a magician back there. But I also agree if Kyler plays
a magician with one Super Bowl.
If Kyler plays,
he needed the best defense. He one of the best defenses of all time to get it.
We are not having no Russ slander on this program. I'm gonna say that right now.
It's not Russ slander. It's just truth. He needed one of the best defenses of all time, and far and away the best defense that year to win that Super Bowl.
That was the year they beat the Patriots, and then they beat the Broncos, and then they beat
that was the year they beat the Broncos and lost.
Oh yeah, the Broncos. Okay, yeah, I forget because they threw the ball in the 1 yard line. Oh my God!
Which shows you that Russell is at his best when he is handing it off, much like Baker Mayfield.
I still haven't got over that one. I was like, "What are you doing, Pete Carroll?" Oh man, I screamed so loud.
I still think they need to do a 30 for 30 on that because I think that would have taken the gauntlet from the Patriots and given it to the Seahawks, and I think the Seahawks would have been like how the Patriots were, but won possibly more Super Bowls than them.
Maybe so. We have to see. All right. Our Sunday night game is the Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know if Big Ben is going to play this week. He had COVID. And I just think the Chargers at home, I think they're going to get a big win. I just trust Justin Herbert a little more. And their offense is legit. Their defense isn't very good. They won't have Joey Bosa or Tillery. I think that's his name. They're on the COVID list. So we're a little concerned about their defense, but I think the Chargers will do enough at home to win.
I'm going to go with the Chargers in this game. I think the only way that Pittsburgh would be able to win is if they were to make it like some scrappy little low-scoring type game, and with them going up against Herbert, that's going to be a little difficult. Necessarily can. So I'll go with the Chargers.
Yeah, we agree on that one. Giants and the Tampa Bay Bucks will be the Monday night game. After the Bucks had an embarrassing loss to the Washington football team last week, it's no way they lose to the Giants too.
Don't sound too happy about that. Don't sound too happy about that, Keith.
I can't hide my excitement. But it's no way the Bucks lose to the Giants too. if they lose to the Giants, Skip may not be able to come into work. But
You're not picking the Giants?
Absolutely not. I'm not putting any faith in Daniel Jones. I mean, they did play him close last year, and then Daniel Jones did Daniel Jones things. But no way they lose to the Giants and the Washington football team back to back. No way, no way. I got the Bucks here by at least 10.
All right. You know what? Bucks versus Giants. I'm going to go with Vanilla Vic and the New York Giants to win this game. I think Daniel Jones is going to go for 350, 4 touchdowns, and I think that Tom Brady's going to throw a couple of interceptions against that Giants secondary, and I think one of them is going to get returned for a touchdown, and I'm picking the Giants to win that game.
Wait, time out. Who is Vanilla Vic? Who in tarnation is Vanilla Vic?
Daniel Jones.
Michael, stop this. That is so disrespectful to Michael Vick and what he was.
Daniel Jones is the second coming of Michael Vick, whether you realize it or not.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, no.
I know he doesn't run it that much, but when he does, he just eats up the field with his legs.
Michael, that is so disrespectful to Mike Vick, bro. I don't know if you watch football when Mike Vick was playing, but that is
he was my favorite. He was my favorite player, which is why I even though I don't like the Giants, I'm just gonna pass it on to Daniel Jones.
No, no, sir.
Number 6 overall pick, better than Dak, probably the best quarterback in his division.
Okay, yeah,
he doesn't have the weapons that Dak has or the offensive line.
Oh, when they literally just loaded up their receiving core to see if he's the answer. They literally just did that.
No, they were decent free agent signings, but they overspent on him.
Kenny Golladay, top 25 receiver. Top 25.
Top 25. Y'all got like 2 top 15 receivers.
Hey, why wouldn't you want to have an explosive offense? It's fun to watch on TV.
I'm just saying he doesn't have what Dak has, and there's no argument to be made against that.
Well, blame his general manager for poor drafting. You're not going to have me miserable because his general manager couldn't, do what he was supposed to do.
All right, let's move on to the last and most interesting one.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about the game of the week. As you see, my background this week is the beautiful Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. So the game of the week this week is the Dallas Cowboys visiting the Kansas City Chiefs. I already know how Michael's going to go on this game, but I'm going to let him tell you anyway.
And I already know how you're going to go.
Well, it's hope you won't have no surprises then. But yeah, you go first. Tell me how you think this game is going to go. And how
all right.
And how you think your defense is going to hold this Cowboys offense under 30 points. Go.
Well, if the Cowboys are expected to score 30 in this game to beat the Chiefs, I don't trust them to do it. 1, the Chiefs defense has stepped up majorly lately. And 2, whenever Dak faces real competition or quarterbacks that are above him, he tends to fold like a lawn chair. So I'm going to go with the much, much better quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, to get the win this week. And he'll probably even come back on the field with his MVP trophy, his Super Bowl ring, his Super Bowl MVP, 3 straight AFC title shirts, 3 straight AFC title caps, and just tell Dak to take a look at him. Dak will have nothing to say.
Interesting. You spent a lot of board Java all over this program, and I'm going to unpack all of it. Dak didn't have a running game when he played against Brady. Almost threw for 500 yards. We tend to forget that. That's the best I've ever seen Dak play. I don't know if you watched that game, but he was just dealing. They took away the running. I mean, the Bucks won, but I mean, Dak played the best I've ever seen him play.
Okay, then it doesn't matter. It was probably just it was Dak getting those after calories, getting those calories that don't even count.
it was a competitive game the whole way. It was 31-29. Anywho, um, the key is our defense is gonna have to figure out a way to stop Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. Andy Reid does a great job of finding ways to get them the ball. If you try to double Tyreek or have somebody over the top, he'll have like put him on like a nice little drag route or something like that just to get him the ball. Because all you really want to do is get the ball in Tyreek's hands because he's that explosive. I don't know who guards Kelce. I'm still trying to figure that out because Travis Kelce is just elite, best tight end in the league. But I think the key is when the Chiefs have struggled is when Patrick Mahomes hasn't had a clean pocket. And I know we don't have Randy Gregory this week or Demarcus Lawrence. I don't think he's going to play this week. So I think Michael Parsons is going to have to get some pressure on Mahomes, make him throw it before he wants to. And I think we're going to do what everybody has done, play two deep safeties, make the Chiefs run the ball, work, to get their points and stuff like that. Don't let them get the big explosive plays and stuff like that. That's what we're going to have to do, because you can't just play man coverage on Tyreek or Kelce because they'll kill you. So I'm a little concerned about our defense, but our offense, your defense doesn't have anybody to stop. Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb in the slot, Michael Gallup on the outside, Dalton Schultz, Ezekiel Elliott is going to go for 100 yards easily on his defense. Tony Pollard may get him 100 too. But I think we're just going to sling it all over the yard and, just move the ball that way, because y'all don't have the dogs on defense to deal with our three dogs. And then that quarterback that you were disrespecting, saying Daniel Jones is better than him and all that nonsense. Dak is going to show you why he's the highest paid quarterback in the league. And I got the Cowboys winning 35-28. So I have the same score. It was a different team winning. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Thank you for joining the show today, bro. It was fun talking about football with you and other stuff. So it was fun having you on the show. I'll definitely have to have you back on.
For sure. Appreciate you having me on. Can't wait to see the Chiefs get that next win against the Cowboys.
You better hope they win. You don't
I can't wait. I can't wait to have bragging rights. I can't wait to have bragging rights.
Well, you didn't have them 4 years ago when we played. So I don't think nothing will change this year.
Okay. And you guys haven't had a Super Bowl in over 20 years, so there's that.
Who knows? This could be the year,
No.
All right.
Y'all ain't making it out of the divisional. If y'all make it to the divisional, y'all ain't making it out of the divisional.
Oh, we got this on tape. Oh, we're going to run this back on Twitter.